What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So, it's a new day. It's the day after elections. And I gave an update last night about the major lookout election results across the country. Democrats seem to have won very strongly, across many states in very important elections. And pretty much um, a rebuke in very many ways of the Trump and his administration and the far right Republican um, coalition that has little by little attempted to, take control of the country and to try to gain as much strength and power and control that they can. But that hit a brick wall last night, and not only did it hit a brick wall in many states and elections across the country, here in my own state of Mississippi, Democrats had a huge win last night. Because there has been a supermajority in our Senate for like 11 years now, where Republicans, and they've have a strong hold in the Senate, the House, and the governorship, have had it for a while, and been able to do whatever they wanted to do. Well, that supermajority in the Senate has now been broken. And that is huge news, and we're going to go over it. So thank you very much for joining me. If you are new here, welcome to Clear Talk. If you'd like to check out more videos from the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff, to help get more videos to more people. If you'd like to check out videos from my other channels, do that as well. Check out JMD Drummer Play Puzzling. That would be amazing. If you like what you see there, subscribe there as well. And just to help, grow the JMD Nation, all the channels, that would be amazing. And I thank you very much. If you want to give any kind of support, there's also links there for support. Patreon, $3 a month. If you want ongoing support to help me, continue building the channels, help me build Patreon, to make it more worth your while. If you or just want to give a one-time donation or something like that, there's a QR there. Any way you want to support JMD Nation, that's amazing, and any support is given that is very much appreciated. And I thank you very much. And if you're returning, you're freaking amazing. Thank you very much for coming back over and over and over again, because you are what makes JMD Nation. So, let me swap over here. All right, I have an article here. All right, Democrats flip 2 seats in deep red Mississippi, breaking GOP supermajority. Democrats have broken the Republican supermajority in the Mississippi State Senate for the first time in years, following court-ordered special redistricting elections intended to provide greater representation of the state's black voters. Mississippians are sending a clear message that from blue states to red states, voters are ready to stand up against Republicans' extreme agenda and hold them accountable, said Heather Williams, president of the Democratic Legislation Campaign Committee, in a statement shared with Newsweek. The DLCC is thrilled to welcome more Democrats to the legislature as they continue chipping away at GOP power. It comes as Democrats notched up wins in city and statewide elections across the country on Tuesday in what has been seen as a widespread rebuke of President Donald Trump and Republicans in Congress. Why does this matter? The outcome holds significant for not just Mississippi politics, but also the national landscape, as Democrats attempt to rebuild influence in the South and defend voters' rights as legal battles over redistricting and the Voting Rights Act play out in federal courts. The results could determine how future legislative and congressional districts are drawn, impacting the balance of political power statewide and potentially at the federal level. What to know. On November 4th, voters in Mississippi participated in special elections for 6 state Senate districts and 1 House district, following a federal court order to redraw legislative maps to increase the number of majority black districts. According to local news website Magnolia Tribune, Democrats gained 2 seats in the Senate District 2 and 45, and secure additional House representation with Justin Crosby victory in District 22. These gains reduced Republican hold to 34 seats in the 52-member Senate. So it was a 36-16 seat representation. And the 2 wins for the Senate brought it down to 34-18. 35 is a supermajority. So now the drop to 34 seats on the Republican side is a drop from that supermajority. So now, in order to pass any major legislation in the Senate, that means the Republicans would have to literally get across the aisle support in order to get the votes to pass things, which is huge. It could potentially just cause things to just not get passed. There's very much a possibility, but at least it would brought any it would hold up anything that the Republicans decide to pass that would very much hurt the Mississippi citizenry and stuff going forward or whatever. So it's huge. The redistricting stemmed from a 2022 lawsuit brought by the Mississippi NAACP, alleged that the state had diluted black voting power despite black residents comprising about 40% of the population. In April 2025, a panel of federal judges ordered the creation of more majority-minority districts, leading to special elections in contested areas. The New York Times reported that the ruling was unanimous, and all 3 judges were appointed by Republican former President George W. Bush. These are the results. Incumbent Republican Michael McLendon won re-election with 72%. Against Democrat Chris Hanna's 28% in District 1. District 2, Democrat Teresa Issam won with 63% to Republican Charlie Hoots, 37%. District 11, incumbent Democrat Reginald Jackson retained his seat with 67%. District 19, incumbent Republican Kevin Blackwell secured another term with 53%. District 44, Republican Chris Johnson was reelected with 70%. District 45, Democrat Johnny Dupree, which was a flip seat, captured the seat with 71%. And in House 22, Justin Crosby prevailed over incumbent Republican John Lancaster with 53% in a newly redrawn district. Most of the races are shaped by demographic changes, with the remapped district now majority black and given new opportunities for Democratic candidates. The results are not considered final or official until certified by county election boards. 3 other special elections were held to fill vacancies left by lawmakers resigning before their terms ended, with 2 of them advancing to runoffs with no candidate receiving more than 50%. So there's still potential for some kind of a swing, maybe, but as of right now, we hold the majority, or we broke the supermajority. And I'm not completely sure. Those runoffs might not even be Senate runoffs. Heather Williams presented in the Democratic Legislation Campaign Committee. Tonight is an exciting victory for the DLCC and state Democrats in Mississippi who have worked tirelessly to make inroads in tough territories. The balance of power in Mississippi is shifting away from extremism and chaos and towards champions of working families driven by Democrats' steadfast commitment to their communities. Johnny Dupree, who flipped the Senate 45. I think it's wonderful that the citizens of District 45 are satisfied. So the Democrats gains halt the Republican supermajority in the state Senate, meaning Republicans can no longer pass certain legislation such as appropriations and constitutional amendments without at least some cooperation from across the aisle. However, they remain in overall control of both legislative chambers and the governorship. The remaining runoff elections will shape the final balance in the state House and Senate. Attention is now returning to whether these Democrat-held gains can endure. Legal and political battles over redistricting are expected to continue, particularly as the U.S. Supreme Court considers the future of Voters' Rights Act protections for majority-minority districts. Mississippi's Republican-dominated legislation may seek to redraw maps again, depending on further court action. So this is where the Supreme Court is supposed to be, looking at the Voters' Right Act, and that's something that could very much change and affect how districts are redrawn across the country. If they uphold the Voters' Right Act, or if they, basically end it, which the Voters' Right Act is what, helps to allow for, more minority representation across the country. And so this is going to be huge. This is a huge Supreme Court decision that could very much affect elections going forward from there. So there's something to keep a eye on. But as far as Mississippi is concerned, at the moment, the supermajority has been broken, and this is huge for Mississippi. And it is just although it's kind of a baby step, if you to think of it really, because there's still way more to go, but it at least for now gives back power, some power at least, to minorities in the state, minority representation, and gives makes us more of a, which I've actually thought for a while now that Mississippi was way more of a battleground state than most people realize. I think there's like this default, even within Mississippians, that Mississippi is just a strong Republican, and that that it doesn't even matter if I vote. They're going to get their way, and I feel like that's been the way it's been for a while now. But when I look at the numbers in Mississippi, that's not exactly the case. When you really break down Democrat, Republican numbers in the population, who's registered to vote, it's not as clear cut like that as you would think. And I think that Mississippi, if more people were to, come out to vote, more Democrat or left leaning or whatever, or just even if it's Republicans that don't like what this Republican government and Congress for the state has done, I think there is more opportunity for change to happen in Mississippi than a lot of Mississippians realize. And this is a first step in realizing that, to break that Republican far right, hold, because our governor is a full on Trump, like, washed out politician. He is gung ho on the Trump train, and he it needs to be broken. this state needs to get back. We need to get, we need to break the Tate Reeves stronghold in Mississippi, and everybody behind him. They need to go, and this is the first step in potentially, building the coalition and strength of the voters in Mississippi to, push back and hopefully create some more positive change in Mississippi. And this is great. This is great. I love it. I love seeing it. And hopefully, it can hold and, little by little flip more and more seats in the future elections, and get our state rights back to I mean, we can't even have ballot initiatives in Mississippi, now. And it's been that way since like 2021 or so. We can't even present ballot initiatives or have any effect whatsoever as a community on laws and stuff or whatever we would like to see passed, and that is because of our own Supreme Court ordering that we don't have a legitimate process, or an effective process based on representation and of the state. Like it was so absurd, the ruling that was made, and so we technically can't have any kind of ballot initiatives in the state until that is reconsidered. And it's dead in the water with the fact that the Republicans have had such a strong hold, because they prevent that. They are the ones who help prevent that, and reverse that ability. Even though our Constitution states that we should have the ability to do that, they went against it. This is a good step in trying to even reverse stuff like that. And I applaud my state right now for standing up and going against this extremism that has engulfed the Republican Party. And this is huge for Mississippi. It's huge for all across the country. All the results from last night is a big kick in the ass, honestly, to Trump and his regime and the far-right Republican movement that has tried to sweep this nation. And I'm here for it. It is amazing to see. And so, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And let's keep this going. Let's keep the strength going. The movement is huge. And we got to keep talking. We got to keep pushing for people to get out to vote, to make change. This is huge. So thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think of if you're a Mississippian of these results. If you somewhere else in the country and your results, or even these results, or what do you think is going on in this country? And do you see this as a pushback and a positive thing? So thank you very much for your time, and until next time, peace. Clear Talk. I'm out.